platform. There's a lot of firms out there that are listing and selling commercial properties where we provide a bunch of diligence information that sits alongside the overview and cap table or cap rates and things of that nature. So before the transaction, we help with site selection. During the transaction, all that diligence, and then post-transaction, whether it's a bank, a corporation, an insurance company, they've got all these assets inside of Radius. You can manage from an asset management portfolio perspective each one of those properties.
Welcome to the How to Scale Commercial Real Estate Show. Whether you are an active or passive investor, we'll teach you how to scale your real estate investing business into something big.
Anthony Romano is the CEO of one of PropTech's fastest growing businesses, CREtelligent. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Sam, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Anthony, there are 3 questions I ask every guest who comes on the show in 90 seconds or less. Can you tell me, where did you start? Where are you now? And how did you get there?
Sure. Well, I started in the residential mortgage and capital market space with a company called CoreLogic. Was an executive and a leader there, and went on to a company called First American. You'd think of a big title insurance company, but lots underneath the hood, and watched how the transactions on residential real estate were getting compressed and contracted, and it was a better experience for borrowers, and really wanted to bring that over to the commercial real estate side. So CREtelligent is a firm that's focused on commercial real estate insights, end-to-end due diligence, and asset management, and we help literally hundreds of companies, REITs, banks, brokers, insurance companies, collapse the cycle time, reduce costs, and improve the experience.
I love the grand vision. I'm really curious, as you get into the weeds on this, though, what part in all, because I feel like there's data everywhere, right? What about the data that was out there did you look at and say, okay, this is just not organized in a way such that it makes sense for everybody else, and I think I can do it better?
Yeah, I think multiple sort of categories there. So think about site selection. Think about a firm that's going out and looking at multiple properties in a geography that they're trying to make a decision on. So we signed an MSA not long ago with McDonald's, who would tell you they're the largest real estate owner in the country that happens to sell hamburgers. They've got a whole team that goes out and looks at markets and has 10, 12, 15 sites, and they're trying to narrow it down. We provide a bunch of early insights and pre-screened data reports where we aggregate data from literally dozens of disparate data sets. We normalize, curate that data, put it into a report where they can make an intelligent decision. So things like environmental insights, property condition insights, micro market demographic insights, climate, carbon footprint, a whole bunch of stuff where you immediately can eliminate a couple properties and kind of narrow down onto one in a kind of pre-LOI, pre-purchase environment. And then when you get into a transaction, now you're going to do a loan and you're going to buy a property. There are literally 15, 18 different due diligence services and products that are required by banks, insurance companies, owner operators. And normally that process is you pick up the phone, you send an email to dozens of providers. Hey, I need an ALTA survey. I need a phase 1 environmental assessment. I need a flood zone certification and appraisal. We've got a technology platform called Radius. That's an order management platform that allows a user to put in an address or an APN to immediately identify their property, and then to order, status, get delivery, and archive any product, solution, or service we have.
So you were saying that McDonald's, one of the largest real estate owners, like how'd you put it? They're a real estate owner that sells hamburgers, has come to you guys because you guys have some software and some solutions that even McDonald's didn't have.
Yeah, the process. I mean, you're going to go and you have a first right of refusal on a property that you got 10, 12 days to make a decision on. There's no way to do full diligence. So early insight, pre-screened data reports help in that process. A lot of our kind of manumatic solutions that have data and analytics where we've got a professional over the top interpreting the data. So think of an environmental professional or certified building inspector and can provide quick information to make a decision. And then again, all of those relatively compulsory services during a transaction, the phase 1, the property condition assessment, the ALTA, the zoning. If you're a bank doing lending on any asset class, you've got a policy that says to underwrite this loan, I've got to have these services done. We provide those services, across the country nationwide.
In order to do that, you guys have to be pulling data from a lot of different sources, because obviously you're not sitting there at the site level going, okay, now there's this one particular. So would you put yourself in the category of a data aggregator? or am I missing something on that front? I guess, can you clarify that for me?
So on the automated data reports, where we've got a whole bunch of disparate data and then analytics and algorithms that provide a bunch of risk scoring, that's the aggregation of data. But we do all of the full site reconnaissance across the country. We don't do that with an army of W-2 employees. We do that with a panel. So think of an appraisal management company, right? When I was at CREtelligent, we had a $400 million appraisal management company, 11,000 licensed USPAP appraisers on the panel. They're all 1099. We've done that across every due diligence category in commercial. So think valuation, environmental professionals, surveyors, certified building inspectors. And when we want something done in a location, our panel management platform does all the background check, the licensing, the E&O. It selects the individual. They use our mobile app, and they actually go out and collect photos of subject and adjacent, whatever data is required. It all comes back digitally into our report writing tool. One of our W-2 professionals puts the report together, and off it goes to the client.
Wow, that's really, really fascinating. And you said one of the biggest things that you've been able to do is collapse the timeline that it takes to get all of these resources put together.
No doubt. I mean, if you think about, let's use a bank as an example. So Celtic Bank is I think the largest 504(7)(a) SBA lender in the country. They're a big client of ours, and they've been able to take 3.5, almost 4 days out of their lending process, and they think they can do more. So to the extent, if you're the bank, A, you want to collapse the time so the borrower has a better experience. B, you want to reduce the cost to the borrower, because many of those products I just mentioned are a pass-through, right? They hit the settlement package and the buyer pays for it. So, and then ultimately all that improves the buyer's experience with the institution.
Wow. That's, and not only that, but then your people, your banks and people like that are saving money because they're cutting 3 or 4 days of work out of this process.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're managing armies and armies of vendors normally, where you're placing phone calls, sending emails, trying to get everything back. Now you've got it all contained in an order management workflow platform that's super easy to use. And
Does CREtelligent interface with other softwares and other platforms? And I can't even, I probably don't have the right question for this. So I guess what I'm thinking about is this a one-stop shop for everything, or is this one part of the puzzle that we need to be thinking about, as it pertains to getting deals done?
Yeah, I think as it relates to what I would just call due diligence. So due diligence before, during, and after a transaction, it's a commercial real estate storefront in that regard. But to your question, we integrate via API or XML into a loan origination system. We integrate into an online platform. There's a lot of firms out there that are listing and selling commercial properties, where we provide a bunch of diligence information that sits alongside the overview and cap table or cap rates and things of that nature. So before the transaction, we help with site selection. During the transaction, all that diligence. And then post-transaction, whether it's a bank, a corporation, an insurance company, they've got all these assets inside of Radius, you can manage from an asset management portfolio perspective each one of those properties. So on a quarterly cadence, we'll show you the change in risk profile on that property. So the change in environmental risk, the change in micro market demographic risk, the change in climate risk. So you're trying to arbitrage an opportunity or mitigate a risk. If you're a bank, you're sitting with an OCC examiner, auditor who's looking at ALLL and CECL stuff, and how do you manage your commercial assets? So it really is end-to-end sort of due diligence.
That's absolutely cool. I mean, what's it been like building a business like this? I mean, is your background's not as a tech guy, is it?
Part of it's tech. It was really, on business operations and but it was all on the residential side. So if you think about the amount of capital that's been deployed to help, institutions get transactions done faster in residential mortgage. And I would tell you, look, it's still broke, right? I can get a $100,000 loan for a Tesla in an hour. And it took me 60 days here in Sacramento to refinance my house at a 30 LTV, no cash out, same lender. So it's still broke. On the commercial side, we just saw it was so fragmented, so dislocated. It'll be evolution, not revolution. These are much more complex and larger transactions. We've got a lot of the largest REITs in the country that, they're buying 15, 20, 30 properties at once. And we kind of have a slogan that says high tech when you want it, high touch when you need it. So you can have a frictionless transaction on our technology platform, Radius. but we've got a customer success team that actually becomes part of the deal team of a lot of our clients, kind of a concierge white glove service, navigate the deal, help you with bundles, help interpret data and reports and things of that nature. So it's very much what I call tech-enabled services. It's not just a pure software and data company. It's there's a lot of humans involved as well.
Yeah, that's tell me about the I guess the process of building this business. How many years ago did you guys start? And then, I guess let's ask that question first. Like, how long have you guys been building this?
Yeah, the legacy, it was we rebranded the company to CREtelligent in the middle of 2020. And the business started very much in the environmental consulting world. And so we had, remediation business, we had geotechnical drilling businesses. I divested a number of those businesses because we really wanted to focus on the transaction, on before, during, and after this transaction. And I think about, there are a lot of great firms out there that provide engineering and environmental consulting. And to me, it was such a conflict of interest where, hey, here's my phase one, here's my proposal for a phase two. Oh, by the way, here's a proposal for, groundwater monitoring and take your tank out. And it was just seemed like it was revenue generating proposal creation that, hey, a football field from the building and 95 feet down, we got to go check some things out. We'll never compromise our integrity and tell you there's not an issue if there is, but we're not looking, we're helping people get transactions done, and manage the risk and manage the cost of doing that.
Is this a service that you can use on a deal by deal basis where somebody can come and say, hey, look, I've got this, whatever it is, apartment complex, industrial facility, whatever it is they're looking to buy, and I need help getting this done. Is that where is that when they plug into your platform, or is this something where it's like, hey, this is part of the software suite that you need to have on board and use in perpetuity?
And there's nothing on board. It's all cloud-based. So I send you an email with a username and password, and you log on to Radius and hey, I got a deal. I'm buying a storage unit or a multifamily property or a warehouse. And on that transaction, I'd like to have a couple of these pre-screens to check it out. And then I'd like to order a phase one environmental assessment, an MAI appraisal, and an Alta survey. And those get ordered, and you status where they are. They get delivered right back to the platform. So it's deal by deal. We have a lot of clients that are doing bulk deals, buying multiple properties at once. We have 6 of the top 10 specialty insurance firms that are putting, pollution abatement policies and underground tank policies that are using the platform. Ton of owner operators, a lot of real estate attorneys, so legal advisory firms that work with corporations. If you go out to a real estate law firm's website, it looks just like CREtelligent. They just don't do any of it. They tell you, here's all the things that have to happen. We partner with them to help them get those pieces done. A lot would think Marcus and Millichap, Cushman and Wakefield. I mean, a lot of brokers are using these tools and technologies, helping with listings and helping buyers look at multiple properties. And then, of course, banks, as they're doing, 8, 10, 12 commercial loans a month, they continually need to order these things to satisfy their policy to underwrite the loan.
Right. Is there a deal size that where your platform doesn't make any sense?
That's such a cool question. Because I would tell you, when people think of commercial real estate, at least the lay person, and I included myself in that category because I was on the resi side, you think of downtown, Memphis or Nashville or San Francisco or New York. We're not doing a lot of that. These are retail centers, they're gas stations, they're storage units, they're warehouses. So I think about the vast majority of our transactions are small balance stuff, $2 to $5 million up to $100 million. When you're talking multi-billion-dollar properties, that's a different play. But those are 1-2% of the transactions that we don't play in.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's interesting. And so if I'm hearing you right, you're saying that there's an upper end where it doesn't make sense, not a lower end necessarily.
Yeah, not a lower end. I mean, we have clients that, a guy or gal is buying a deli, and on that deli, I need to do a couple of things of due diligence. And can I order these products from you? Absolutely.
That is absolutely awesome. I love it. When you think about your platform, what is one service or feature that you haven't yet developed that you wish was on there?
Well, when I look at our roadmap, we've thought through a lot of the vision and where this can go, and most of that comes from feedback from our clients and folks that we're working with. You think about a bank, and they've got all the LOs and all kinds of underwriters, and they try to have continuity and consistency. Well, we're building a decision engine where we can ingest their policy. So they have a policy based, again, on property, geography, LTV, loan amounts, a NAICS code, whatever, the scoring that they get back from our pre-screens, and we can build some bump logic so that across the enterprise, there's kind of continuity in how they get deals done.
Got it. That's absolutely awesome. I love what you're doing. Anthony, tell me this. If our listeners want to learn more about CREtelligent, you, or get in touch with you or a member of your team, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, I mean, we've made our website really functional. It's, CREtelligent.com. They can look at every product, solution, and service we have. They can download any of our reports and samples and things of that nature. My personal email is a.romano, ROMANO, at CREtelligent.com. I'd love to chat with anybody about what we're doing and how we can help.
That's awesome. And for those of you who are listening, CREtelligent is spelled CREtelligent, TELLIGENT. So just like it sounds, CREtelligent. Anthony, thanks for coming on the show today. I'm looking forward to checking out your platform and what it is that you guys do. This has certainly been insightful. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome, Sam. Thanks. Appreciate you.